I was sitting in church one day here, and I just started roasting, just getting hot as could be. I had just gotten out of jail at the beginning of January, so I've been coming back to church regularly, and I heard clear as could be a voice say, "It's time to come home." Just heard those words, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this.
So I'm Christy Dallman.
And I'm Jesse Dallman.
Again, our names?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Christy Dallman.
I'm Jesse Dallman. I grew up survivalist in Alaska. We lived out in the wilderness, and both my parents were bad drug addicts, and the lifestyle my parents led kind of it led them into plenty of dark stuff, and they had a very bad fight one night when me and my sisters were there, which was relatively common from time to time. Me and my sister happened to get out of the house, and walking down the street, heard a couple gunshots, and knew where they came from. And it turned out my mom had shot my dad in both his feet during their fight. My dad was all slumped over on the dash, not even moving. So at that moment, my dad was dead. That wasn't the case, but that's what I witnessed. I had no belief in the Lord. And I remember going to church as a kid here and there. Wasn't my thing, and I ran.
We both were very dark. I was with the occult. I did satanic things. We were just dark people. We enjoyed hurting people physically and stuff like that. My dad left when I was 7. My mom, she was just a woman on her own with 3 kids, and she had been very damaged when she was growing up. And she just, all she did was she worked a lot to pay bills, and she just jumped from boyfriend to boyfriend and moved us around all of my life. I hated her. I thought she was the reason why my life was so bad, And that may be true when I was a child, but, at some point I grew up and I was still blaming her, and still behaving like a child. I was using a lot of drugs all my life since I was about 12. And about 6 years ago, a friend of mine, a childhood friend who I kind of kept in touch with, she invited me to go to her church. And I came to her church, and I noticed, everybody had this light about them. There was just something about it that I wanted to be a part of. And like I said, I didn't really know what anybody was talking about. I didn't know Dan's sermons, what he was saying. I liked the worship, and I liked that light, so I kept coming back every so often. And then one night, I was living by myself in a little studio apartment, and I chased most of the people in my life away that I had cared about. And I was laying in bed, and I was crying, and I was telling God, look, if you are who you say you are, and you must know that I can't do this unless you give me something. I need to see something. I know I'm supposed to just have faith. I know I'm supposed to just believe. But if you know me and you know everything about me, then you know that I need more. And so the next day, I went to this Bible study with a friend. I think I was probably either high or coming down off drugs, and I probably looked pretty crazy at that time. I used to be really standoffish and kind of cold and mean. And at the end of this Bible study, they asked if they could pray for me. And then this girl, this really shy, timid, soft-spoken girl said, "Can I pray for you?" And I was just like, and I think that it took a lot for her to say that to me just because of who I was and who she was. And I said yes, and she said, "God wanted me to tell you that He knows that you've been alone all your life, and that something happened to you when you were little. And when that happened, You said, no, God, I've got this. I don't need you. I can take care of myself. And something rang true about that. When I was really little, I was closer with God. And then, I had some sexual abuse happen. And so this girl had no way of knowing this. I didn't talk about this to anybody. And so she said, God wants you to know that you don't have to be alone anymore. She said, some more things happened to you in your life, and you still kept saying, no, God, I got this. And I did. I always thought I had this. I knew I could take care of myself, but I did not have it, obviously. I didn't have it together, but I just started breaking down when she told me this. I just started like, who? I think I even swore at her. How the F do you know this about me? And, it was just crazy. It changed my whole life. And from that moment, I have never felt alone again. I've never felt that emptiness that I always had, that darkness. And it took a few years after that to get completely off the drugs and start walking with the Lord. But that was the moment that I knew that He loved me and that He was there for me. He and I got together, and we were working together, and he would give me a ride to church on Sundays. We were still just getting high all the time, but still I was going to church right there in that sanctuary. And I knew how he felt about God, so I never invited him to go with me. But one day he just asked, hey, can I come? Yeah, absolutely.
I heard clear as could be a voice say, it's time to come home. And it scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
I okay. I looked over at her and asked her if she minded if I came with her, and she was like, yeah, of course. And I didn't hear a word of the entire sermon. I was just bawling my eyes out, and the Lord was just downloading answers to me to questions I've had my whole life as fast as I could comprehend them.
Yeah.
And it was powerful. It scared me, and I'm like, okay, the Lord is real.
He started changing then. So then here we are, we're on drugs. Now the seed has been planted in both of us, but we're still living, we're trying to live 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And then he commits a crime. He shoplifts something from Home Depot and gets caught, and we know he's going to jail. Also at the same time, his mom dies. We were laying in bed. This is one that really I always cherish, is that we were laying in bed right before he was going to jail, and I don't know, I can't really remember I can't say that the Lord spoke to us at the same time, but we just sort of both had the same thing from God where he was saying, you guys need to walk with me on your own, and then you will walk with me, walk together with me. And we knew that was coming up. We knew that was about to happen, and it did. He went to jail, and he just studied the Bible and started Bible studies in jail. And I was out here, every moment I could be at this church right here, I was here. And it really taught us to lean on the Lord. And now we do it together. But we had to do what he said. We had to walk with him on our own before we could do it together with him. And so he was clean because he was in jail. I had to do it a little differently. I was just I was staying at his father's house, and his father's a drug dealer, and so I was trying to get clean. But I did it. I came to church, had all the support of all these people here, and I just relied on the Lord, and he got me through it. And the day he got out of jail, I was here at church, and he went straight from jail to church to meet me.
Yeah, her daughter came and picked me up when I got released. It was one of our Wednesday night services,
and I had to be here. So
yeah,
so my daughter went to go get him for me.
Came straight from 68 days in jail to church.
Yeah,
jail's awful. Jail's terrible. But it was it gave me the time to just focus on God and learn how to trust with Him and understand this life that I had chosen. it was rough for quite a while.
It was.
After accepting Jesus and not giving up the whole old life. Life was extremely tough.
Yeah.
Until we let go of that.
Yeah.
And then it's just all this weight has been lifted. Life is just beautiful now.
Beautiful. I mean, every morning when I wake up, I'm like, thank you for this life, Lord. Thank you. You know, I'm like, I can't dream of anything being better than this. You know, we live simple. You know, we're just simple people, but you know, I feel like the richest person in the world. You know, and I know now I don't ever have to worry about things like I used to. I know because my Father is taking care of me and us. We used to be those people in our family that were just hopeless. We were just those, you know, don't let them come in your house. They might steal something, you know. And now we've led most of my family into church, you know. And my mom, who we used to hate each other, she goes to church with me every Sunday now. I've healed that, you know. Yeah, you know, I healed that with her. He's changed my heart, you know. He's changed my heart where I used to hate people and, you know, my family and, you know, just everything. And now I just love, you know, and I see people different. I see myself different. The world is different, you know, because the Lord lives here now.
I was sitting in church one day here, and I just started roasting, just getting hot as could be. I heard clear as could be a voice say, "It's time to come home."
So as the day goes on and we're getting ready to go there, we're driving around the car and this blizzard comes up. This blizzard starts happening. I'm like, "Are you sure you still want to do this today?" And he's like, "Yep, no, it's today." So we go down to the river and Dan's in his waters, you know, his waders. Is that what we call waders?
Yeah, his chest waders.
He's in nothing but his shorts.
Shorts and Crocs.
Yeah. Somebody prayed over him for the angels to keep the water warm around him or something. And I mean blizzarding, like we could barely, everybody's in like full, you know, snow gear and gloves except for him. And he baptizes them in the river. And right when he comes out, the clouds parted and the sun came out as if the Lord was saying, the storm is over. Yeah.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
And as it turns out, I was the only one that wasn't cold.
Yeah, he was the only one that wasn't cold.
Water was warm.
Yeah.
It was
cold.
Lord told me I had to say yes.
Yeah. Obey. Right? We obey.
Yeah.
I always, you know, I envied other kids that had fathers. You know, there's the daddy's girl thing, and and I never had that. And, you know, I looked for that in other men, and I looked for that in just all kinds of, you know, negative ways.
It's just all this weight has been lifted. Life is just beautiful now.
Beautiful. I mean, every morning when I wake up, I'm like, thank you for this life, Lord. Thank you. You know, I'm like, I can't dream of anything being better than this. And I know now I don't ever have to worry about things like I used to. I know because my Father is taking care of me and us.